Hello everyone, here we are once again for one more Dear Love Talk, and this is our second program. We're very excited, we really loved doing our previous one, and this is all about answering people's questions.
Yes.
Whatever questions you have on relationships, we're here for you.
Yes, send us all your questions on questions@lovetalkshow.tv.
That's right. So let's go for the first one. It says, I've been married for 3 years and I love my husband very much. He has a very good relationship with his mom, but this has also been a hindrance for us because she spends a lot of time in our home. And sometimes I feel we have no privacy whatsoever. She likes to give me hints on how to run my home. And sometimes, even my marriage. I don't know how to tell my husband that this is making our relationship worse. So this is a difficult one because you have the mother-in-law situation, and you can love your mother-in-law very much, but it doesn't mean that you want it there all the time. I mean, people who, when they get married, they need a space, right? You get married and the first thing you envision that you're going to have your home, you're going to have your space, and you will have family around sometimes, but I think sometimes can be difficult for people to cut that umbilical cord from their parents, the family, right?
Yes, but it's important to also understand one thing. I don't know if you agree with me. It's about how, for example, if I'm the wife and I'm worried about his mom being always at our house, it's like this. First of all, I need to understand a bit more. Why? Why does she find so hard to let go of her son? You know, it's normal. She raised him for so many years. She gave her best to him. She really struggled maybe to bring him up. And now he's a grown man, he's married. So, you know, there is an attachment there. So this is a different kind of attachment. We're not talking about the son who doesn't want to let go of a mom, but the other way around. Now, depending on what it is, you need to understand why she behaves the way she behaves. And then, you said in your question you don't know how to speak to him about that. There's no other way than to speak to him. You've got to speak, because with men, I don't know if I'm wrong, but from what I've seen in my own marriage, you've got to say things for the person to understand what really is going on.
Because I don't know if women know this, but we can't read minds. We haven't developed to that point yet. And it's important, like you said, that you speak about what's damaging your marriage. And it's all about the delivery. You have to deliver that message, say what you have to say in a way that's not going to be offensive.
Yes.
You know, even if it is true that he is too close to his mom and that she's always there, you can't offend that person in front of him that he, you know, he respects, he loves. So the solution perhaps is, number one, that you tell him that this is a little bit of a problem, that you enjoy her company, you like her, but perhaps not as often in your home, and that it's demeaning for you perhaps to have someone giving you hints all the time on how to run your home. I think that's not very nice, right?
Yeah. And if you absolutely must have her in your house, maybe she's getting old, maybe she doesn't have where to go, she's by herself, and she needs care, you've got to set the rules, set boundaries. Yeah,
not necessarily say to her, look, these are the rules, but agree with your partner.
Speak to him so he can speak to his mom, because it's more appropriate. But you can't be quiet. You need to talk about it, because a marriage is like this. You need to talk. If you don't talk, you won't understand each other.
Now we have one more question, and this one's from a woman. So I will let Elena read this one.
So I am a woman of 26 years old, and I have been single and have never really had a long-lasting relationship. I never seem to attract the attention of the opposite sex, no matter what I try to do. Am I doing something wrong? Is there something you can advise me that can help my situation? Well, you say that you haven't been able to attract anyone from the opposite sex. So maybe you need to look at how have you been trying to attract. Is it through your clothing? Because, you know, different kind of men, you know, men who are more career driven, who are more mature, who want to settle down, they are also looking for a woman like that, a woman that inspires them, like, oh, you know, she looks like a woman who could bear my children or be married to me and build a house, a family with me.
And you know something I was thinking just now? I don't want to compare anyone to an animal, but I was just thinking of something. Think with me. You know, the lion in the jungle, he's that kind of animal that when he walks by, all the animals stop. All the animals respect him.
They freeze.
They freeze.
Some of them.
and you know what? The animal doesn't think, let me walk a particular way so that everyone can respect me. Let me behave a certain... That's his aura. That's who the lion is. The lion is the king of the jungle. And, you know, sometimes there are people that in order to try to get someone to notice them, they do all these different things, these crazy things, different clothes, going to different places. And I don't know if that's your case, you who wrote to us.
Behave in a way that they don't even, it's not even them.
Yeah, it's not even natural to them. I don't know if that's your case. But one thing I do know, that when someone is confident and happy, this is very attractive. It's very attractive because few things are more attractive than a smile. When someone smiles and is genuinely happy, you know, you want to be close to that person. So I'd say don't worry too much about doing something different, you know, putting on different kinds of clothes or joining a club. But perhaps like the lion, you know, search to have within you this confidence, this happiness, this joy, because that attracts people. I have to say that when I met Elena, one of the first things that attracted me to her was her smile.
Really?
Yes, till today. So
All
it
right,
works, it works. So, but you agree with me that sometimes people think too much of things they can put on and so on, and that's not perhaps the way to go.
It's like this, when you look, apparently, according to statistics, once again, 90% of communication is your body language. So when you dress a certain way or you behave a certain way, you are screaming, I'm desperate, or please take me home, or please love me. So be more confident within yourself. I believe that you should work more on yourself, on how you see yourself, and don't be desperate. Your day will come, but you need to readdress how you do it.
And by the way, you're 26, right? You're young, you're at the peak perhaps, or just peaking in your age. So don't worry, you're fine. But perhaps if you do want to do something that's going to help is to invest in who you are, in having that confidence, that happiness, that attracts usually the right kind of people. Let's go for the next question. It says, my husband and I are from an African background and we are under a lot of pressure from family to have children, even though we are not sure now is the right time. Actually, we are not sure we want children as life is really tough financially for us. How do we deal with this? Listen, the thing is, it's your marriage, it's your children. If you do have children, you are going to have to raise them. It's very easy for your brother, sister, mom, dad to say, I want you to give me grandchildren or nephews or nieces, because they come to play with them in the weekends, right? But you have to do the hard work of bringing up that child, educating that child. And as great as it is to have children, is also a lot of responsibility, as you said that. But the reason why I'm saying this is because you cannot, or you should not make a decision to have children to make someone in your family happy. If it's something that you really want yourself and your partner wants, and you have the stability to achieve, then why not? But don't do it because there is a pressure from family, from your background, or anything like that, because that's going to cause you more problems than anything else.
Times have changed, and we are no longer housewives like in the 1950s or 1940s. So I find it a bit selfish that people try to impose that on couples, young couples. We want children, we want grandchildren. Like you said, and very well said, you will be the ones working really hard, and it's a big responsibility to bring up, to raise human beings. We're not talking about
a toy.
A toy. It's a human being. But you know, it's funny. It might be a bit controversial, but you know, culture, we understand culture can be very tough sometimes on people and put lots of pressure. But you have to think, hold on, I know it's culture that we do this way or do that way, but it doesn't make sense, at least for me. So I'm not going to follow that. You have to see what makes sense for you,
Sure.
what is right.
It makes sense for you and your partner to decide to have children should you want to. It doesn't make sense for you to have children because you want to make someone in your family happy. Oh, and by the way, having children doesn't make you a better woman or a better man, right? It gives you more experience. You start a family with children. You don't become more of a man or less of a man whether you have children or not. So don't let anybody tell you that. If you do want to go ahead with this, it should be something you decide for the right reasons. And of course, most people want to start a family. Perhaps another point we should make still on this before we finish is that we live in a planet that has over 7 billion people. That part where we were told to multiply and populate the earth, that was a few thousands of years ago. And the earth is very well populated, right? We don't need any more populating anywhere. If that's the reason why you want to have children, then you don't need to go down that road. If you want to have children to start a family and you're ready, you have the stability, not just financially, but in your relationship, then by all means, but don't do it because of your family members. Yeah,
I agree 100%. You can't raise children just because you are being pressured to do so. Because let's say that you're going through marriage problems or inner issues yourself. Maybe you haven't yet overcome a certain problem that happened to you in your childhood. Remember, your children will pick up on that and they will become the exact copy of you and your husband. They will grow up to be angry because you never have had time for them, because you were simply following a tradition. And just one thing I would like to mention, maybe your partner is putting pressure on you that it's his culture to do so. Maybe it's not the family, So you've got to talk here because actually this is something you should do before you get married to avoid this kind of problem. But you can't just have children, you have to agree. You have to have children for the right reasons. That's my opinion, my honest opinion.
Absolutely. Now, before we finish today, we just want to say that anytime you want to send us your questions, honest questions for honest answers, you can do so on our email, which is questions@lovetalkshow.tv, and we'll try to get yours on this program as quickly as we can. Okay, it's been a pleasure to be with you. Until next time, have a wonderful day.